Welcome. Today we'll be talking about the key features in Planswift. When you look at the home, you'll see on the toolbar we have new, open, print, email, back, zoom, and so on. So let's briefly jump into it and see what are these key features and how can we use these features in Planswift. So the new is used to create a new job, a new file, or project. So before you begin, you have to input your job code, as you can see, and then you put in your description, and you could select the measurement type and you click next. So this will open up a pop-up, as you can see, which you can use to import the document that you have to use to take off. You could either import a PDF file or you could import an AutoCAD file, which is the DWG. So immediately you do that, you click on next and it is going to load up. And the next is the open file. The open file can be used to open recent jobs that you must have done. Let's say you must have estimated for some buildings before and you want to go back and reload it, so you could use the open to locate the file and have access to it. So the print is used to print your job. The email is used to send the documents to as many recipients or stakeholders who are involved in the project. Let's say you have a group of professionals that will need the estimates, you could forward it to their mails. So you could select either one, or you select multiples. You could select all of the files or you select one. You write the name and every other thing, and then you send. So this back and forward is used to navigate. As you can see here, we have the word there, navigate. You navigate through the drawings with the back and forward. So let's look at the zoom feature. Planswift typically includes zooming functionality to allow users to closely examine and work on specific details of their digital blueprints or plans. So you could use any of this to zoom. So let me show you how to use this feature to zoom. You have to drag and create a box, and immediately it's going to zoom. You can also drag again to see more clearly as you zoom. So you could click here to zoom in such a way that it will fit the page, and we have the zoom in and we also have the zoom out, and you could see we have the pan, which is used to drag the page from up to down or to fit in such a way that you want it to. And we have the scale. The scaling tool in Planswift enable users to accurately measure and scale digital plans, ensuring that measurements in the software align with the actual dimensions in the physical construction project or the architectural plan that you will be working on. So let's say you want to scale. As you can see over here, we have the drawing is not to scale. So you will have to click on this button over here so that you could scale. So if you want to scale, you have to pick up the measurement that you see over there. And so you use the zoom function to highlight the drawing plans, and then when you highlight it, you'll be able to see the dimensions clearly. As you can see, it is 4.23, and then we'll have to insert it while we click the scale, and then we insert it over there. You can also decide to apply to all pages. And so what you will do is to take from your left to the right. What we are doing is to ensure that it aligns with our drawing, the 4.23 we take to align to our drawings. And then we have the dimension tool. The dimension tool are used to measure and annotate distance on digital plans. This helps in accurately assessing the dimensions of various elements in the architectural plan. So this is exactly what the dimension does. You measure from this side to this side, and also you measure from this other side to this other side. That is what the dimension does. And now we'll be looking at the takeoff tools. As you can see, the takeoff tools consist of the area, the linear, the segment, the count, and the single click. So let's look at the area. As you can see, the area has the single click area, price per square meter, volume in cubic meter, metric roof, grid tool, and the joist tool. And now, the area tool allows users to calculate the area of specific regions on their digital plans. This is crucial for estimating material quantities and cost. The price per square meter feature likely allows users to assign cost to areas based on a specified rate. So let's look at the single click. Let's say you want to take up for the floor, area of the floor. As its name implies, single click. With a single click, as you can see here, immediately I click here, you see that it automatically measures the square meter of this floor area, of this floor. As you can see over here is 11.9 square meters. Now we looking at the price per square meter. Price per square meter can also be used to measure the floor area, but this times it comes with a rate. Assuming you want to measure for let's say you have a tiler, and the tiler said he's going to charge you a certain rate for a square meter. You could just use this. Let's say he said $50, so you could input your $50, and also you could put your markup percentage, and you take off. As you can see, it is 12.9 square meters. And if you want to see what you just calculated, you just have to click on the reports at the top and you wait for it. And finally, this is the information you get. And so the next one on the list is the volume in cubic meters. So the volume in cubic meters enable users to calculate the volume of specific regions or elements in cubic meters, which is useful for estimating concrete, excavation, or other volumetric aspects of the project. So let's assume we're measuring for concrete in bed. Or let's measure for topsoil excavation instead. So, assuming the depth is 150 mm, and also the price, let's assume the price is $300. You can put in your markup, or if you don't have a markup, you could just continue. So let's take off. Let's assume we're just taking off from this side and to this side. As you can see over here, it's in volume. What you do next is to go to the reports, click on it, and see the results that you get. As you can see, the volume and the cost is here. So I believe by now you should be loving Planswift, because Planswift is one of the best software that I've used so far in quantity estimation. And the next on our list is metric roof. The metric roof tool is likely designed for users working with metric measurement, providing functionality specifically tailored to metric units. So in order for you to begin to calculate, you input the pitch. The term pitch in the context of a roof generally refers to the slope or incline of the roof surface. It is typically expressed as a ratio or an angle and is an essential factor in roof design and construction. So let's assume our pitch here is 1.5. So let's take off to see how we could use the metric roof. As you can see, we're done taking off. So let's briefly jump into the grid feature. So the grid tool assists in creating a grid overlay on the digital plans, helping users organize and reference specific sections of the project. It provides a grid overlay that can be applied to the plans for better navigation and measurement. As you can see, we have the angle. The angle settings allows you to specify the orientation or rotation of the grid lines. You can set the angle to align with a specific direction, providing flexibility in how the grid is displayed on the plans. This is useful when dealing with plans that are not perfectly aligned with the standard horizontal and vertical directions. So we could put in 90. The vertical setting typically refers to the spacing and appearance of the vertical grid lines. You may be able to customize the distance between vertical grid lines, allowing you to align the grid with specific features in your plan. Similarly, the horizontal settings pertains to the spacing and appearance of the horizontal grid lines. This settings allows you to customize the distance between horizontal grid lines, providing flexibility in how the grid is applied to plans. So let's assume we just put in this, we put 1.2 for vertical spacing and also 1.2 for horizontal spacing. You could also decide to tick all of these options if you want to. As you can see, this is exactly what the grid tool does. So you can decide to customize it. You could tick on this option and this option and the other option, or you could allow it to automatically generate by itself. And so the next on our list is the Joist tool. The Joist tool is likely designed for working with floor and roof joists. It may help users accurately place and measure joists on their digital plans. So when you click, a pop-up will show and this is what you get. So I'm going to just explain all of this, but I will not generate it because it's going to take a very, very long time before it completely generates. So let me explain this. That from the pitch degree. The pitch degree is the parameters that refers to the slope or incline of the joist, typically measured in degrees. The pitch degree is essential for accurately representing the angle at which the joists are installed. It ensures that the joists align with the architectural specification of the project. And we have the joist type. The joist type settings allows you to specify the type of joist you're using for the construction project. Selecting the type of joist is crucial for accurate material estimate and structural integrity. And we have length calculation. This parameters likely indicate whether the software will automatically calculate the length of the joints, calculates the length of the joist based on other specified parameters, or if you're manually imputing the joist length, automated length calculation can save time and reduce the chances of errors in estimating material quantities. And we have the OC spacing. The OC stands for on center, and this parameter represents the spacing between the centers of adjacent joists. OC spacing is a critical factor in structural design, affecting the load-bearing capacity and overall the stability of the structure. And we have the mean length. This parameter may refer to the minimum allowable length for the joist. It could be a design requirement or a constraint based on manufacturing standards. And we have the new length. This parameter may allow you to impute a new or modified length for the joist. It could be useful for scenarios where you want to override automatic length calculation and impute specific length based on project requirements. So for the sake of explaining the linear feature, I will have to use a different plan. And so the linear tool allows users to measure and annotate linear distances on digital plans. This is essential for determining the length of walls, conduits, or other linear elements. So we have the single click linear. the metric wall area, the linear cubic meter, the linear volume in cubic meters. So let's look at the single click linear. So with this, just a left click will do everything for you, will measure for you. All you just have to do is to click the walls, just a left click. And one good thing is that it identifies the windows automatically and will just calculate only the walls for you. So as you can see on the left side, you see that the more I click on it, the more the figures changes. And then the next is the metric wall area. So we're going to put in our wall height. You fix in your wall sides and the wall width. Some might decide to use it when calculating for rendering, depends. So we'll assume 3.0. So for this, all you need to do is to drag, double click, drag, double click, and you will measure your walls yourself, unlike the single click that when you left click only it identifies the walls and doesn't measure openings. So let's look at the next one, which is the linear cubic meters. So the linear cubic meters, you input all the specification that was specified and you click on OK and you start to take off. So for the sake of our time, we'll just browse through segment because the video is already getting long. So let's browse through segment. So the segment tool likely provides functionality for working with specific segments of the construction project. This includes beam, joist, wall areas, cubic meters, volume, and hip valley. So looking at the beam tool, all you need to do is to fix in all of this, and when you're done, you take off where necessary, when it is necessary for you to use this tool. And the other tool is the joist segments. So you could also do that where necessary. So without wasting much time, let's look at the count. The count feature is likely used for counting specific elements or items on the digital plans, aiding in quantity takeoff. So for the sake of explaining this, I will have to use a different plan to explain this. So count is normally used to, count the number of, let's say, columns, fittings and stuff like that. You could use the count to do that. So for the sake of time, you will have to go through all of this yourself. So immediately you click the count, a pop-up will show, and then you're the one who will choose the kind of shape, the field type, and the color. And then you start to take off. You count the columns. You want to know the number of columns, you use the count function. And so this single click, you find it in the takeoff tools, you find it in the area, the linear, in the count, right, and the cut line. And you already know what single click is. And then we have the send data. Yeah, so also we have the markup colors. And we have the markup. You could use any of this to markup. So when looking at the markup color, you should know that the markups as well as markup colors are often used for annotation, revision, tracking, and communication. Different colors may be assigned for specific meanings or purpose to enhance clarity and collaboration. So the color red means critical changes could be used to highlight critical changes. The blue could be used for general comments or notes. The green could be used for approved or completed. The yellow could be used for pending or need attention. Orange is used mostly in progress or under review. And we have the purple. The purple markups may be used to signify design changes or modification. This color can be employed to distinguish alteration to the original design. And then we have the black. The black is used for document edit or text changes. And also we have the gray. The gray is used for reference or background information. It is important to note that these conventions can vary among different organizations or project teams. Some projects may have a standardized markup legend that clearly defines the meaning of each color. And back to the markups, we have the arrow markup, the box markup, and the pen markup. So you can see. Also, the next is the highlight. The highlight is used for color, shading, or other visual element to draw attention to specific information on the drawings. And we also have the notes. The notes could be used to make some important clarification. Let's say the design that was given, some part was not clear enough, and then you decided to use the notes, which is under the highlight. You use it, and then the notes there, you could just write not clear, and you send to the architect or to the designer and send to him that you are not really clear about this. And then we have the overlay. The overlay typically refers to the ability to superimpose one set of plans or drawings over another for comparison, analysis, or coordination purposes. So the overlay feature allows users to view multiple plans versions simultaneously, helping to identify changes, measure discrepancy or visualize the relationship between different phases for project. As you can see, we have two different types of overlay. We have the standard overlay and we have the comparative overlay. As you can see, the standard overlay overlays plan page on top of the current page like a transparency, typically used for comparing multiple levels of the plan. So let's try using comparative overlay. And so let's compare this with just one section of the drawing to see. So as you can see, it has generated this, and this is the difference between this drawing and the other one that we compared. And so we have the annotation. The annotation tool allows users to add comments, notes, or markup directly on the digital plans, facilitating communication and collaboration among project team members. So with this, I guess we have come to the end of this session. We might look through the pages to see other functions, other features. We have the rotate left, the rotate right, the rotate 180, the level. We also have the flip vertical, flip horizontal, and invert. Crop as new page. We still have more to cover. And so with this, I believe you should be ready to handle Planswift properly and use it in cost estimation.